Hey friends, if you didn't know, now you know. Loud and I are hosting a giveaway. That's right. If you rate the podcast and leave a review, you will be automatically entered to win a $50 Whole Foods gift card and a signed copy of Made Whole, Made Simple, my newest book. Then, during the episodes in April, Laura and I will choose a winner from all the reviews we see online. And that winner will be announced during the episodes in April, and they will win the $50 Whole Foods gift card and a signed copy of my next book. So what does that mean for you? That means you better subscribe and leave a review. May the odds be ever in your favor. Good luck, everyone.
This is the Body Wise Podcast. Thank you for joining Laura and Christina for another intimate exploration of collective wisdom.
Hey, welcome back to Body Wise Podcast. Christina Kerp here. Super excited to be interviewing Danny and Maura Vega today of Fatfield Family. We're going to get into some really interesting stuff with them. They work together. Obviously, they live together. They are married. They raise their kids at home, unschooling. So really good questions. But before we jump into all that, I want to give you guys a little update on what's going on over here. It's been a really busy week. Justin and I are now homeowners. We closed on a house in Seminole Heights in Tampa, Florida, which is exciting. It's like 3 blocks from Laura's house. So eventually we will be recording these live and in person together, which is really exciting. Laura can't be here today, but she will be back with an episode soon. Other updates, I am now just starting today working with Dr. Becky Campbell. As a nutritional therapy practitioner, it's amazing to be part of a clinic and to get this clinical experience. I'm super stoked about that. And so I won't be seeing nutritional therapy clients on my own anymore. I will be working strictly with her clients in her practice. But it is a virtual practice, so anyone can work with us. That you get both of us 2 for the price of 1. She runs all the good labs. She has great supplements, great protocols. She specializes in thyroid health and like histamine issues. And I'm really it's such a blessing. I was really just asking the universe for more opportunities to work with people one-on-one and to be able to translate my nutritional therapy work when I moved to Florida. And then this came up. So it is amazing. I cannot wait. Very exciting. We're recording this. It's February 6th today, but when this airs, it should be about late March. If you haven't grabbed a copy of Made Whole, Made Simple, make sure you do. Okay, let's get to the podcast. I cannot wait for you guys to meet Danny and Maura Vega of Fatfield Family. Hey, Danny and Maura, thanks for being on the podcast.
Thanks you for having
us. We're super pumped to be on.
Yeah. So, okay, if you can't tell by the way they talk like me. Danny and Maura are also, they're from Miami and we're first generation American, also Cuban. So when we met, it was like, oh my God, are we related? But I love Danny and Maura. They are I think one of the few people who walk the walk, and as much as they talk the talk. Not everyone else kind of truly lives the lifestyle, but you guys are such a great example of this. Fatfield Family, you have thriving coaching business. Danny, you're speaking everywhere. And yep. Maura has these amazing workout videos. So tell everyone where they can find you and what you do exactly.
All right, I guess I'll start. Danny's making me start today. Well, you can find me mostly on Instagram, Fatfield Mom. I'm Fatfield Mom on Facebook as well. And then on TikTok, guys, if you haven't jumped on that TikTok train, you're missing
Your dance moves, girl. Fire.
Thank you. So me and my husband, we have a podcast. We're dedicated to just, spreading all of our passion. We've always been into health and fitness. We homeschool our boys. And, we're just all about that biohacking life and, just always wanting to better ourselves and learn more. And so we have a podcast called the Fatfield Family Podcast, which we recently interviewed Christina. So make sure to check out that episode.
Yeah.
And it's just been so much fun. It's been kind of a whirlwind because, the social media thing, it gets crazy quick, but it's amazing. And we're just so lucky that we can, help people and, share everything we love with them.
Yeah. And so for me, just to add to what she said, my goal and my focus for these last 3 years or so has been, how can we use the ketogenic diet to improve our performance? How can we use it to build muscle? And, the first 2.5 years, I had the Ketogenic Athlete podcast and we interviewed a bunch of people on just all the different performance applications of the ketogenic diet and the different considerations, which I love, Christina, because, you are talking about, just being sane and having some context, because we get locked into these rules and we don't, unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to think. They don't want to get past like, is this keto? Is this not keto? And, for me, a 225 gram carb up is keto. Like I'll do a carb up and I'll wake up the next day in ketosis. So it all depends on, who you are, what your goals are. You got to be honest with yourself, what's your activity level, your amount of muscle that you carry, your insulin sensitivity. And from there, let's harness the power of this ketogenic state because it's very powerful, but let's also see how we can tweak it to just maximize performance and even just to live a more sustainable lifestyle.
Right. I love that. Yeah. You're so good at spreading that message. And I love how you're always like kind of doing experiments and using yourself as an example. You're a tremendous athlete, which of course is just why you can have 225 grams of carbs and wake up in ketosis, but you just rode like 50,000 meters, no big deal.
And he's got so much muscle at this point. Right. Danny's been, I'm sure he finds it annoying also when people call him lucky because he's not lucky, it's just, this is what happens when you start lifting weights when you're 14 and you're 39 now. Like, it's just what happens. And when you have that much muscle, girl, just sitting next to Danny, you can feel the heat radiating. Like he is he's probably like, what is your RMR? Like you're resting. It's
probably like close to 3,000.
So like imagine he's eating 3,000 calories and he's in a deficit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's incredible.
Goals.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. What was it? I know what was it? The Metabolic Health Summit, Rachel Greger was just saying that, like, I forget her name, the Doc Muscles chick, the one who's really buff. And she was saying how like her muscles are like calorie absorbers. Yeah. And
absorbers.
Yes. Yeah, so true. I love that. It's true. I always tell people, I'm like, you don't want to lose weight. I'm like, you don't forget that cardio. Pick up some weights.
Put on muscle.
Yes.
That's incredible. So Danny, do you do coaching then one-on-one with people, or are you in like group coaching? So how do you, is this what you help people do? Like figure this out their own way to use keto to, is it just bodybuilding athletes? Do you work with like the average Joe?
That's such a great question because my coaching has evolved over the years. Like it started, all those years ago, I was a collegiate strength and conditioning coach. So I was focused on performance. And then, I was also a trainer. So I had, moms and soccer moms. And as I've progressed, I love, someone asked me the other day, the people from Epic, like, what are the trends that you love and that are coming up? And it's this new trend of people focusing on more than just diet and exercise. And that's where my coaching has evolved to. So nowadays, like if I start a new consult nowadays and it's mostly one-on-one, we have like some programs that are almost like a group coaching thing. Like for example, in March, I'll be doing the carnivore keto cut. So anybody could buy that, at any time. But if you buy it in March, it's probably going to be an unfair advantage because, I'm going to be doing it. So I'm going to be more engaged, even though we have such an awesome community. We have an online Facebook group and all that, but there is that extra, motivation and accountability. But when I sit down with someone and I do this consult, like we're looking at sleep, we're looking at stress, we're looking at, environmental toxins, mindset, and now my coaching involves life planning and scheduling and, because the body composition and nutrition and fitness, that's just a baseline. Like that is not where we stop. If we get our macros right and you lose 15 pounds, I want to make sure, number one, that you lose that all in fat, you build muscle, and that you keep it off. And you can't do that with this diet mentality. So it's a lot more life optimization, mindset optimization. And that's where my coaching not only is different, but I want it to be like that because we have enough, body comp and body transformation coaches. We have more than enough of those. Now let's take it to the next level.
That's awesome. I 100% agree. I think that also, I'm sure you find the same thing. Those are the harder things to change, right? It's so much harder to get someone to go to sleep earlier, to set boundaries with, their coworker or their family so they can for self-care, for people to be mindful, to get someone to meditate every day. It's like pulling teeth. It's like giving up carbs is easy compared to getting someone to meditate every day. It's
oh my God.
So true.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's incredible. I think that that's definitely where because you're like you said, it's the way to make it sustainable. I absolutely love that. So how do you guys, I mean, your lifestyle, I love it. I mean, I'm so jealous because my husband, being in the military, he's gone a lot. And like you guys like essentially work together, live together. I mean, the kids are home. So I want to hear more about this. Like, how do you guys keep the boat afloat? Don't like not want to kill each other. Maybe you do.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We still do.
We do. It's a learning process.
Because we spend so much time together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you make it work.
Yeah. So because when Danny we were happy for him to leave his job and everything, but there's an adjustment period. The things that you don't realize. Like now he's home eating all day, destroying my kitchen. And I'm like, you need to clean that. Thanks.
Well, I do the dishes and I cook. Let's get it straight.
He does.
But sometimes I stop at the dishes.
I'm the type of person that for me, it's much better because you're going to feel me on this because I'm sure you're going to build up a ridiculous kitchen in your new house. So my kitchen, that's one of the reasons we built a home was because I was like, I need the kitchen I want. Like the end, it's been, and so I wanted a huge sink and I got my huge sink. I mean, I can still fit Dean and probably, I don't know, Desmond, but I could definitely fit Dean in there to bathe him. But, it's tricky because you could fill it up more. So I prefer to like do some dishes throughout the day instead of just waiting for it to take an hour at night, and also I don't know. And also like, when you're just home all day, like you don't want to be, I'm the type of person, like I just can't focus if my house is a disaster, Yep. But anyways, it's been, we're all learning and we have some systems in place. Like I have something that I like to call, and I stole it from somewhere. I don't even remember where I heard this, but I thought it was genius. The one touch rule.
Oh yeah.
I'm guilty of it. So it's the one touch rule. So if you have an item in your hand, like how many times do we pick up an item that we need to put back only to put it somewhere else that doesn't really belong? Like we just shift it, And so for example, like if you're going to take your shirt off, you're undressing, why are you going to put it on your bed? It's already on your hand. It's already in your hand. Like just throw it in the laundry or just put it in the drawer. So one touch, like by if you're touching it multiple, you're literally wasting your time. So I try to think of that. We're not perfect at it. I'm not perfect at it, but I try to remind people to keep things in check,
Yep.
But other than that, I really like that. One thing is like, we're all so close. We definitely are.
We spend a lot.
We bicker, I think that's normal, but we're all so close, and that's
we're on the same team.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, I love that. You definitely get those vibes from you guys, and you have the kids at home as well. So that dynamic. So you guys are throughout the day. You have your coaching calls. You're traveling for work. You're doing podcasts. You're creating content, and then you have the boys as well, and you have their curriculum and activities with them. And I know you guys are so involved with the kids. So what does like a day look like for you guys?
Well, we've just like revamped our schedule because, I'm really good at making a schedule, like writing it.
Right.
But I don't look at it.
I would say even.
And even then, like I have my phases, like I'll do it for a week and then, and then I won't. So with the homeschooling, so a typical day, every day is different. That's the thing. So that's why we have our freedom. So like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we record our podcast. And on those days, we have an amazing nanny. She's leaving us. I'm so sad. It's like the worst thing ever when your nanny leaves. But she comes and she hangs out with the kids, while we're recording. But we also have something here in Tampa that we're so lucky. Right next to our house, we have an amazing co-op for homeschool. So I'm not doing everything myself. Amazing. So I have my days, right? And now that Desmond's a little older, there's more like, for example, just now, Desmond's just getting home. He's been gone since 10. So from 10 to 1, he was at STEAM. So science, technology, engineering, art, and math. They have this amazing program. It's like they're in college, we pay for the course. Right. You pay individually per semester. So it's fall semester. And then now he's going to be here for an hour and then he's going to go to chess club at 2:15. And so that gives us a break to where we can give some time to Dean.
We had some really good one-on-one time with Dean at the park today. And when you give him one-on-one time,
makes a huge difference.
He's an angel.
Imagine I have like 2 alphas, both of my kids are constantly competing for attention.
Right.
And they're, they fight all day.
Yes, I know. People are always like, you're going to have another one? I'm like, nah.
Like, why? So they can fight all day?
Right. Because you're like, oh, he'll have a playmate. I'm like, he plays with his Legos just fine.
Yeah, especially if he's one like Dean is cool.
Yeah, and it depends on his person.
Own.
I could see that. Like Jack looks like he just like chills, like he's cool playing in his little world.
Yeah, and boys are just so rambunctious. I mean, it's really just hardwired. Like I can't imagine. I'm sure the house sometimes feels like there's a stampede going through there, right?
Always, it always does. But look, we have we have morning routines. We have evening routines. Routines are so important. Like one of the things that Maura talks about, because she's a very vocal advocate for homeschooling because of her experience. Like she wanted to dance. She wanted to be creative, and she couldn't do those things because she was too busy doing all the BS that school makes you do. And like, we're teaching our kids about routines. We're teaching our kids about emotional intelligence. And like, we just learned that like 5 years ago, you know?
Right.
So it's like, all this stuff is so much more important to us. And, you know, the content stuff, they get involved. Like Dean wanted to do a workout at the park with me. So when I was doing my burpees, he did them with me, and step ups, and like all of this, what our goal is for this. And, you know, this is why we share so much of what we do, is we want people to see that it's all of it together. It's not one thing. It's being connected with your family the whole time. It's being involved. And if you don't homeschool, you don't have to homeschool, but know what they're learning, know what's going on in their lives, be a source of just comfort for them, because kids are under a lot of pressure today, you know, between social media, bullying, testing, and all this stuff. And for them to come home and have their parents scream at them and not be connected, and then throw a piece of equipment or a piece of technology at them, it's like the worst of all worlds.
Yeah.
Right. It is sad. Sometimes I think of kids. I mean, I'm lucky because I'm home with, I'm accessible to my son whenever he needs me, because I work from home ever since I had him. And I think of like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for like, and I know some people don't have the option right now, but it's like kids who go to after school care and then they get home to like 7 p.m. And like,
that was me, girl.
Yeah,
you know how that was like, but I was in after school care for a while, like all of elementary, at least.
Right.
Probably a little bit. I think in middle school, my mom started like letting me take the bus home and be, you know, home alone for a few hours. But
it's tough. I mean, getting home, I mean, he gets home already. Like, yeah, I mean, he goes to bed at 8 o'clock. So if he was getting home at 7, like we'd only have an hour together.
Yeah. And then it's like, is there homework? Like, goodness.
Right. Right. No, that's incredible. I mean, your boys are amazing. I mean, they're great. They play. I mean, the first time Jack and they all got together, like Desmond and Dean are just, they're so sweet. They're so polite. They're so creative, and they're just, they're great kids. You guys are doing something right.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
We get little glimpses of the rewards, you know, like when they say certain things or when they make a certain decision, we're like, oh my gosh, this is sticking, you know, because you're just in the mix all the time. You're in the weeds with this stuff, but like the patience and just sticking to it, it's just very, very rewarding.
I agree. I think the routine and consistency is a big one. And I think that it's can be very challenging when you're doing something different, especially different than our parents did, right? Because you're like pioneering this, right? This is a new way. And then your kids will hopefully take notes from you. But it can seem, especially when they're younger and you're not like, you know, like you're not really seeing it. But I think now when they're 7, 8, 9, like it really starts coming through, you know, all the, because, you know, people tell you, especially being Cuban, are you kidding me? Like, they're like, just let him cry it out, or just give him the formula, or just do that. And it's like, oh.
And then they get hurt. Then they get like, they think that you're criticizing them.
Attack on them, you know?
That, well, you turned out okay. Yeah, I turned out okay. But all of us are trying to do better. We're trying to do better than you did.
We're all doing better.
Right. I 100% agree. And I think that there's a lot. I mean, there's obviously studies now. I mean, there's definitely, you know, the cortisol in the babies who like are left to cry alone in their cribs.
Yeah.
Like
even when they stop crying, they're still stressed out.
Right. And I sometimes feel like my mom, I'm super close to her, but I do sometimes feel like for having such a great childhood and a great relationship with my parents, I'm like, I have like way too much baggage. Maybe it wasn't crying out. You know, like that stuff, it's like, it's in there, like imprint. So I think that's amazing. I think it's definitely, it's something to aspire to. I know a lot of people like look up to you guys in this community and space for that. So that's really cool that you're pioneering it and you're so vocal about it and you share so freely of your life. So very, very cool. So tell me, Danny, about what events have you been going to, speaking at? Like, what do you think are like, what do you foresee as like the trends coming up or the insights, the new thing that people are going to be talking about? Because, right, it's nutrition, like and health. It's always evolving.
Yep. And we're in this little echo chamber. So a lot of the time, the tendency is to assume that everybody knows. And of course, you and I can both, and Maura too, like when we get asked the same question over and over, like we have to remember that there's people coming in all the time. But you know, strap in because we're over here. Like we're all on the same journey, but like we're already further along that journey. So what that means is like, I already got this keto thing down. I'm working on, you know, environmental toxins, you know, what's the newest research? What's the newest like mindset stuff. Now, one of the cool things that I'm doing with Ben, with Keto Muscle Intelligence is looking at neuroplasticity while you're lifting. Like that is, you're in the most neuroplastic state. So let's take advantage of this great learning environment, because neuroplasticity just means like the ability to change your neurology and learn during an activity, and lifting happens to be an amazing activity for that. So we're focusing on things with intention and things, just a few things that are seem like mindset woo-woo stuff, but when you work with the Huberman Lab, and you're working with actual neurologists and you're seeing the benefits of that. So that's one of them, breath work, breathing and breath holds while you're lifting. So we're focused a lot on what I'm really looking at a lot of is this interplay between parasympathetic and sympathetic, and how can we change that. Of course, we have meditation, we have yoga, but then we also have just a mindfulness practice in general. It's going to be very helpful because we have, like you said, we have so much baggage, and if we're not mindful, we're going to miss out on it. I know now, I may not be perfect, but I know when I'm being reactive with my wife,
Right.
So how do I convey that to people? And so now a lot of this stuff becomes less about what are your macros, and all this stuff. And it's more about, lifestyle and, being present with your children. So that's where I'm headed right now. Like my events that I've done this year, I've done in January, I went to 3 events. I spoke at 2 of them. Let me see. I went to Omaha. I spoke at Omaha. Oh, well, the second event was this travel meeting that I went to. I'm just looking into this little side business that we're really looking at that's going to allow us to travel more, because, it looks on the surface like everything's going awesome. But, people don't see that when I take a red-eye flight home from Phoenix and I'm home at 5 a.m. and I see my son and he's so happy to see me because he hasn't seen me in 5 days. And then I have to remind him that, oh, by the way, I'm leaving to the Metabolic Health Summit tomorrow, in less than 24 hours. And he cries, so I'm trying to find ways that we can travel as a family together. And I think I might have found one. I'm still looking into it, but all of my speaking, I love to speak. And I'm not the type of person that's just going to recycle a speech. I'll do it if it's applicable. But, in the last 4 months, I've spoken on everything from nose to tail eating to building muscle, and then even like managing stress. My last presentation, and probably the same one I'm going to do at FitCon, is how to manage stress to build muscle. Because, we have so many people who are doing intermittent fasting and training fasted and eating this low carb diet. And then they don't even take into account all of the other stressors in their life, all of the way they're training. Yep. And I even say this, I'm happy to get some good feedback from people that said, like, if you're stressed, maybe now is not the time to cut your carbs. Maybe now you should focus on fixing that, because when you cut your carbs, that's going to be a stressor. And listen, Mr. Keto over here, like keto for 3+ years, but at the same time, looking at the big picture. And I think that's where I'm headed in the future, is just focusing on teaching people this stress piece, and teaching them about HRV, and teaching them about looking at things like, for me, it's more important to look at my glucose levels than ketones, for example. Ketones are much, they're much less of a indicator, at least acutely, of what's going on. And now I'm going to have my first insulin test. One of the experiment that I'm doing right now is with OMAD, and I'm not like a big fan of it, but that's why I'm doing it, because I want to look at what happens to my inflammatory markers. That's one of the things that people say with OMAD, that you can have like a small increase in inflammatory markers when you consume so much food at once. Maybe that doesn't play out, because it hasn't really played out, but it's a potential concern. And so I'd like to think that I'm actually objective when I go into these experiments, because so many of the experiments that we see are not really objective, and they're especially with all the nutrition stuff, like they're looking to support a conclusion that they've already made. And
for sure. I see that all the time. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And nutrition is something that's so easy to manipulate, essentially. I mean, you can share like, oh, inflammatory markers went up like 0.1, but then this went down, but then your fasting glucose was so much better. But then people only share the data that supports their point. And
exactly.
you see that too much. I have some questions. So there's some things I want to revisit. So much good information. So
Yeah.
The one thing, so the neuroplasticity when training, so you're saying like, and me just trying to like make it applicable in more layman's terms for the listeners is,
Oh yeah.
like, let's say if you're listening to an educational podcast or like an audiobook while you train, are you going to like, are you going to absorb that information better?
Probably. What I'm thinking about, I'll give you a story. I'm stealing this story from Ben because we had a guy at the gym who was stuck at a 660 pound deadlift forever. He wanted to deadlift 700. And then one of the world's greatest coaches came to visit us, Jock Taylor. And, he asked Jock, like how, what do I got to do? He's thinking like he's going to tell him how to fix his programming, how to change his fueling strategies and all this stuff. And Jock simply asked him, like, what are you thinking about before you do the lift? And he's like, wait, what? Like, I don't want to know anything about this other crap. I want to know what you're thinking about. And you find, how many of us are walking into the gym and being like either one of two things, either dreading it because this is something that you're doing as a means to an end, because you want to get to a certain body weight or some crap like that. And you're not getting, the main advantage is not what the training does for your body composition. It's what the training does to develop you as a person. And that is the end goal. And so people go into the training with, a poor mindset, or they'll go with just this mindless mindset where they're like checking a box. So all he did was change his mindset, and he had like certain like mantras that he would say to himself before he got into the gym and before he got to the lift. And so taking something as simple as focusing on one thing per week. So you have like a thought, like, I am powerful. And this week, you're going to be focusing all the time on telling yourself that you are powerful. What does that do? That actually is quantifiably measured. That can improve your performance and the ability for you to take this into other areas of your life. Like, this is why a lot of athletes do very well with business, because people don't understand, like, guys, this is making you a better person.
Right.
And it transfers into so many areas of your life. So if you want to just see how this works, before you go into the gym, have an intention that you're focusing on. And then another thing that you could think about, because this is another thing with the parasympathetic and sympathetic piece, one of the things that people are really bad at is the ability to move from sympathetic to parasympathetic back and forth quickly. Because we have this low level sympathetic arousal at all times. I've been guilty of it, especially when I'm busy and I'm like, okay, in between sets, I'm going to answer DMs, or in between sets, I'm going to do a post or work on that post. But you have to understand, like, you will not be able to turn it completely off and then turn it completely on if you do that. You're going to just be this person who's like kind of okay at resting and kind of okay in the lift. But if you turn it off, flip the switch off, and just get into chill mode in between sets, and during your set, you go full on, quiet storm, like you're going to explode inside, and you're focused completely on your muscles and you're focusing on the contraction. You're not focusing on getting reps done. Those are the type of things that I mean when I'm talking about you're able to change your mind, you're able to change the color of your mind, the makeup of it. And that in turn will not only lead to better, results in the gym, but it will carry on into your life.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I love that. I mean, I think that, yeah, wow, that's mind blowing and so true. I feel like to an extent I've experienced that, and like you said, I have had those times where I'm in the gym and it's my Zen space. And then I have had those times when I go in and I'm checking Instagram between sets, and it's not, and you don't see the same.
You're like, what just happened? Did I just work out?
I've deleted the app before at the gym because I'm like, why am I like, what are you looking for?
It's the searching.
It's just a dopamine thing. It's like you don't even notice you do it anymore because it's a habit. When these habits are so ingrained in us, or when I catch myself like first thing in the morning, like just sitting on the toilet, like literally just open my eyeballs and I'm peeing and I'm like, why?
What do I do in the morning?
Am I on Instagram? Well, I now meditate first thing.
And I love that because now when I wake up in the morning, because Maura says I'm a robot, because I am 100% a robot. When I wake up.
Yeah, Danny's like, just when you tell him what to do, he's like, okay. And he just like out the task, like no questions asked, like
every single day. Like you could take a
what.
video of what happens and it's like
Yeah.
superimposed and it looks like the same video.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom, wash my face,
Right.
floss.
Everything else
turn on
around
the
would be happening, but it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah. And in the sauna, you know, I turn on the sauna and the sauna's right next to our bed. So now I kind of think it's adorable and I love it because I'm meditating for 20 minutes. The first 10 minutes, I do a guided meditation from the Waking Up course, which is an awesome meditation app by Sam Harris. And then in between, I'll, you know, change it. I'll grab my phone and I'll change it to the Calm app and I'll look over. And usually by the time I finish my first meditation, Maura's sitting in bed meditating. And so I look over and I see her meditating and it warms my heart. And then I go back.
I'm going to be not able to do it because I'm going to know you're looking at me.
I only look over for a second. Like I only look over.
I'm like, go back into your
and it's
tube.
like she's
in your
on it.
sauna tube.
Sauna world.
No, but that's awesome. I mean, there's studies connecting, you know, like childhood trauma to higher rates of like autoimmune disease in adults because, you know, it's like the vagus nerve, like the body remembers. It's like that mind-body connection. It is quantifiable. And I think that using that, like applying that to, you know, I love like tying in the fitness and mindfulness thing together because I agree that there is a marriage there that's not really explored as much because people are like, what's her name? Like Emily Scrum. I really like her because she's kind of like, she has her podcast like Meathead Hippie. And I think it's true. It's like, you can have people like, it's like, yeah, we're at the gym, you're lifting weights, but it is also like between sets, you can essentially meditate, you can connect it, make it a mind, body, like spirit experience.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. And I have to get one of those like infrared saunas, but
oh yeah, you need one. We have a sunlight in that. It's Danny is a robot, but I find it a little harder just to get in our sauna because it's a solo. So it's like, it literally looks like, it's like a tube. Like looks like you're going in a CAT scan.
It's not the typical, I feel weird sitting meditating because I lie down to meditate.
You're supposed to sit though.
You're supposed to sit, but trust me, and I'm doing vacuums lying down too sometimes.
Oh, I do that too because I told you to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm used to going in the sauna, like a dry heat sauna at the gym, and I like to stretch and I do lay down as well and I'll meditate, but then I like to move around and stretch. So I just feel so like, but I guess it does make you stay still.
I do love guided meditations. I think I'm someone who has a hard time like quieting my mind, but I love guided meditations because I really take the visual and go with it. I mean, and there's been some really powerful moments. So what was the name of the app again that you recommended?
Well, we do Calm, but we also do the Waking Up course by Sam Harris. Yeah, if you do the first 50 days, it took me a little bit to kind of jump on the train. Danny had been doing it, but I really, really enjoy them. I have to start doing them again. I found a different one that I've been doing, like a guided prayer after my Calm that I've been using. But Sam Harris, his meditations are really, really good because they're all guided, but he really like pushes you in an intellectual way, it's like, I can't even explain it. Well, like he'll literally make you meditate with your eyes open.
Yeah. He teaches you to expand your focus and contract your focus. And he uses visual, he uses auditory, he uses, so like all of these things, I'm telling you, it's the same kind of muscles that you use to learn a new language that lead to so much carryover. This is why people who speak many languages, I view it the same way. And the learning that's happening in your brain. And of course, the whole time I got a freaking Juve on my crown of my head, blasting me with infrared.
He's so psycho, girl. I can't. We have to do a TikTok. It's really
I'm so optimized. I'm like so optimized right now.
I'm like,
just so extra.
A robot. Like one of these. It's just gonna.
Gosh, that's amazing. I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, I'm over here like writing like affirmations on like my forearms at this point with like, seriously, I'm like visualizing this shit out of my next year.
You have to.
You got to do what you got to do. Okay. Something else, which I mean, it pertains, I feel like right now, this is my life. And you're talking about people, and this is something I'm sure we all see, like all the three of us run into constantly, and the stress piece. And especially in the keto world, you get a lot of people, something I tell my clients, I'm like, don't escalate, because you get people, okay, they go keto. Okay, now they're intermittent fasting. Okay, now they're working out fasted. Okay, now they're going to start doing long fast. And then like, why do you keep escalating? Oh, there's my dog.
Yeah. And then also like, let's lower the calories more. It's not working. Lower the calories more. I'm like, no.
Right. And you see people, and you get a lot of women, and of course, a lot of them they're already dealing with like some kind of autoimmune disease, or like they had a baby or hormone imbalance. And then they're at a deficit they're super low carbs, probably too low protein as well, which happens a lot with women in keto. And then they're not losing any weight. And they're like, how can I not be losing weight? Because I'm in a deficit and I'm working out and I'm doing HIIT and I'm doing fasting and da, 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 da. And I'm like, you might need to like take a nap and eat a sweet potato is what you might need.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
girl.
It's hard because it seems very counterintuitive. And explaining that to someone of like, if you're in a chronic cortisol output situation, right? Because a lot of the things that are good for us are essentially a stress on the body. So how can someone tell if they've tipped over into that, like, I'm doing too much. It's chronic at this point.
How do you raising your hand?
Tell us, girl.
So I'll take this one just because I have personal experience. And Danny, I think finally maybe has felt what it feels like to have like adrenal fatigue, adrenal dysregulation, and anxiety.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you haven't felt those, it's like so hard to explain it. And you know, people think you're being dramatic. So I went through this, was it like a year ago? When did I go through this where I was like really stressed out? Like my adrenals were shot.
November
I did a test.
Of 18,
right.
November of 18
right. So, you know, we just had a crazy year. You know, we had Dean's accident, and just back to back, just busy nonstop. And I'm the type of person, like I was just the way that I was raised. You know how it is, like the Cuban families. I'm having to unlearn a lot of behaviors that escalate things. You know, like the chronic, like, you know, like I can only say it in Spanish, like dándote cuerda. You know, like basically complaining. So. But you know, it's like almost like accepted in our culture to like da 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 da.
Yeah.
And it's like I catch myself doing that, and it's just making me more stressed. So, you know, I've had to meditate, but to be a little bit more specific, like I was feeling extremely adrenally fatigued. How did I know? So I was over caffeinating, over exercising, doing HIIT, probably not eating enough, and I felt. Honestly, I was super fatigued all the time. I never had energy. It's just one of these feelings. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like you live in a dream or something. Like everything is like the brain fog is horrible. I couldn't finish sentences. Like just everything is hard. That's the only way I can explain it. Like just you wake up and you're like, this is hard, you know? Like,
did you notice that like did it affect your glucose levels? Like your fasting glucose?
Well, I'm not a big tester, but my ketones will be my ketones. Okay, but the ketone thing, my ketones have always been low.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm probably so fat adapted at this point. I think, and I'm also like probably running a deficit a lot of the time, and so I'm using all my ketones because my breath will be high.
Yeah.
So my breath ketones will be high, but my blood will be low.
But your blood sugar was always.
And here's the thing, girl. I hate testing my blood sugar, and so. You know what happens to me? Like, forget dawn effect. I sit there for like 20 seconds, like freaking out. So of course, by the time I prick my own finger, which I freaked out about for 20 seconds, claro, okay, my blood sugar's high. I'm stressing out.
Right. Gotcha.
So I don't really test, but you know, now with the continuous blood glucose monitoring, I'm more interested in that because I feel like, you know, like you just put that on, you don't have to deal with it. And then I can now see how my stress levels throughout the day or certain things can affect my glucose levels. But one of the main signs something that happens to me, and I feel like most women, is I won't change anything and I'll start to gain weight. I'll gain weight for no reason. So that's one of my main things that I am like, okay, I'm stressed. Like I can't lose weight, or I'm like gaining weight and I can't lose it. That's how I know I'm stressed. And so I'm pretty good at being intuitive. And so an example of something that I wouldn't do, and I would steer clear from, like last year, KetoCon, that was when I was very stressed.
Yes,
And these people, remember the Redmond's 3-day salt?
Real salt.
And people are asking me, am I going to fast? I'm like, do you want me to die?
Right.
I'm like, I might die. Like I literally might die. I can't fast. Like, you know, so like, absolutely not. That's when you really have to just, you know, so what did I do? I had to cut back on my caffeine drastically. We started doing half calf. Yeah, because I'm a fast caffeine metabolizer. So I drink it mostly for the taste, not because it doesn't really do anything for me. But you're still getting that adrenal fatigue, you know, like you go over that limit and you're like, oh, yeah, there it went. Like I'm zapped now. So I cut back on the caffeine. I stopped doing any HIIT training. I honestly haven't done any for a really long time. No HIIT. I also started carb cycling, which really helped me. And I do recommend, especially if you're lean, you exercise, you're insulin sensitive, it doesn't have to, it's not a donut. I'm not eating a donut. I'm having some,
right, like
some
squash.
Exactly. That's my jam.
Or even some dates you'll have.
But you know what? I haven't even been doing the dates anymore because I feel like they like mess up with my digestion a little bit. So I'll do like a banana, some yogurt with like honey, something like that I know that is going to be fine for me.
Right.
And that really has helped me not just manage stress. It's helped me with my cycle and, the meditations. What else did I do to kind of like help myself?
The training was huge. You used to train was huge because nonstop, no rest.
Oh,
for 2 hours
I
straight,
changed the type of training.
Everything.
Yeah.
You started training like keto muscle intelligence.
Yeah, I was doing crazy supersets. I stopped doing that.
Not gonna brag here, but
it's a good program.
Yeah, it's a great program.
Like she's. I mean,
yeah, and it was an adjustment because I was used to just like go in the gym. Like I get in my zone and I don't stop. Like I'm like, let's go. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And so at first when I was like 3-minute rest, I'm like, what am I going to sit here and scroll Instagram for 3 minutes?
Right.
So it was an adjustment, but now it's like, I need that rest and then I can really go all out on my sets. So yeah, stress is the number one killer and so underrated. People ignore it all the time. You can you could be carnivore. You could be like Danny blasting your head with, in your sauna meditating, blasting your head with red light. But if you're stressed,
right,
it's going to affect your health.
No, that's for sure. It's great. I run hot. And so it's hard for me to scale it back. And I caught myself like real hard at the end of this year. Like, we just finished like close on a house, which Morgan is doing a double.
Book.
They are the worst.
The book. And then Justin's deploying. And all of this is happening February, March, April.
Yeah. So you already know, you're like, let's take precautions here,
Right. And so I started with Ali Miller's adaptogen boost. And
that's a good one.
I quit Orange Theory. I went and I just deleted my membership because I'm like, y'all, if I'm paying for it, I'm going to go. And it's 60 minutes of HIIT nonstop.
It's nonstop.
You do not stop.
No, you don't stop.
And I was getting really fatigued. And y'all, I gave up caffeine. I've been completely
no way.
100% for 2 weeks
no
now.
Coffee?
No coffee.
Oh, I need to do it.
I did do decaf. So I've done decaf, completely decaf, which I know has a little bit like twice in the last month, but I stick to herbal teas. Okay. And let me tell you, in the second week, it was incredible. Like it was like inflammation or what, but like 5 pounds dropped in like 3 days.
I might need to do that, but I'll probably have to go to decaf because like I said, it's the taste. Like I just love the ritual.
Once a week, I'll do I'll be like, let me just do it the decaf. But you know what I did? Because I like the chai tea. So I got like a nice, a decaf chai because I like the taste. And I do some like reishi or cordyceps in that. And honestly, it's been really good. But it's incredible. Like I'm super zen. And honestly, even for just the last 10, I scaled it back at the gym a lot. I'm just focusing on walking a lot, doing some body weight stuff, like super chilling. And it's incredible, right? Because people always think like, I was in that same as like my diet's on point. I train like a beast, like everything's this, but I'm still like, what's happening? Like my fasting glucose is elevated.
Yeah. I'm
not seeing results. I'm like, it's when your body's, when you're on this chronic cortisol output, like you're not going to lose, like your body can't burn fat in that situation.
Yeah, no, I won't even go in the sauna some days if I'm feeling like way too stressed or I'm like too much is going on and I already don't feel good because I've made that mistake where I do. And like, I've gotten like a massive either migraine. I've even gotten nauseous before, just like overdoing it because it's just another stress on the body, where your body's like, girl.
Right. And we don't take into consideration, right? Like I'm sure you see your clients, they're on a deadline, they're moving, they're traveling, they're going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I don't know what's going on. And you're like, well, I mean, like,
what could possibly be happening? Well, you're getting a divorce.
So there's that. Yeah.
That might be a factor.
Yeah. And it's not just that, like we are really, trying to keep our head above quicksand in this new culture that we live in. Like we are, you're like our age. So our generation, I feel like we're like the ones that are really seeing like the difference because we literally did not grow up how our kids did.
Yeah.
And so now we have this new, like with social media and like everything is now and like, I mean, the amount of like dopamine that's occurring at all times, it's just like, it can't be healthy, like you have to keep that in check. Like yesterday, I was actually proud of myself because I'm really bad about this, but like I put my phone in the room to come back outside and like hang out on the couch because I usually just bring it with me because like it's how I quote unquote wind down, because my kids are, I never get left alone, but
right.
It's still not good. You're like staring at the screen, you're just scrolling Instagram.
That's one
It's
thing
a
that
lot.
I've been really
Like our lifestyle, just living is a lot.
Yeah. And people
We are busier than ever.
reduce the inputs. You gotta think of all the inputs that you got. We're burning the same amount of calories as our ancestors did 15,000 years ago. And that's absurd because we don't exercise or we don't move the way they did. And it's all because of the amount of information that our brains are processing. And that's great that it's quote unquote burning calories, but we're not getting the metabolic benefits from that.
We're just getting stressed.
There's things that you can do. Like, for example, for me, my meditation in the morning is my morning check-in, so I'm not looking for an outcome. I'm not going to say I meditated poorly today. I sucked at meditating today. There's days when I suck. There's days where my mind is all over the place. Yeah. But guess what though? When I feel my breath in my chest up here, I know that I'm stressed.
Mm-hmm.
And even true. There's so many times because most of the time
I constantly feel it there, by the way.
You constantly feel it there? Yeah.
I am a high stress though. Even in we did our DNA. So in my DNA, I just, I have the gene.
You have more stress.
I am just easily stressed.
See, me, I'm a happy person, but here's the thing. I can feel the reactivity physically now. So even if I'm not being reactive, which by the way, I am very reactive sometimes emotionally and as well when I'm stressed, but physically I'll be like sounds will be more like what? That's so annoying. Things are annoying me more and I'm physically feeling, just physical symptoms from when I'm stressed. So there has to be a time when you're living this lifestyle, you really have to be honest with yourself and you have to be like, is it really worth it to go to the gym today? Is it worth it to do that when I feel this way right now? And I know that I'm going to lift for the rest of my life until the day that I die, so maybe a walk is better today, or maybe a light row is better today. One thing we haven't mentioned that everyone in this conversation agrees on is that we got to love ourselves. And if we don't love ourselves and we don't think that we are creative and we are whole, okay, and we have all the answers, they're in there. Okay, we don't need to look anywhere else. They're there, but we have to love ourselves and we have to know that it's okay to mess up. It's okay to be not at your best sometimes. And I think over time, if we can get more people to understand that overall people are going to be healthy. And guess what? If you do it keto, that's awesome. And I want people to be keto because, at the very least for a few months of the year, if you're keto, you're going to get the benefits. We choose to do it all the time. But, this Saturday, I already told Maura, Saturday is going to be a carb up for me because I feel like it's time. I haven't had one since August.
Wow.
So I was doing them all summer, and in the summer it makes sense. Our gut microbiomes change. We can handle more carbs, and we should probably have more carbs. And who doesn't want to have a delicious in-season squash or in-season apricot or some delicious fruit that's grown in your area? That's good, and screw the grams of sugar for just right now. Understand a little bit more about human biology and understand a little bit more about yourself. Of course, that's where all this testing and experimenting has really been helpful for me because I've learned so much about myself.
Right. No, it's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful note to end on. So beautifully said. I know you guys got to go to chess. I really think that I love that the work you guys are doing is really important. You're just a wonderful example for people, and keep doing the good work. You guys can find them. Danny on Instagram, you're at dannyvega.ms, at Fatfueled Mom, and then you also have at Fatfueled Family, right?
Yep.
We have at Fatfueled Kids on Instagram. Where Fatfueled Family is our
Twitter.
podcast. Yeah.
Right.
And on Twitter. Yeah. But
they post amazing stuff, especially meals for kids, or just if you're really stumped, if you're the kind of person listening, you're like, well, I don't know how I'm going to get my kids to eat healthier. Right. Follow these people. I mean, they share everything what their kids are eating when they go out to restaurants. They're very anti the kids menu, right? Down with the kids menu.
Kids menus.
Yes. And then of course, Danny, you do have the carnivore cut coming up, and the keto, the keto muscle intelligence. It's online. It's a digital program, right? You buy it. There's all these modules and videos and training programs, right? And that's all linked on your website, or they can just Google keto muscle intelligence.
Yeah. They can go to go.muscleintelligence.com and then choose programs, and it's in the keto section. It comes with beginner and advanced workouts. It comes with my 3-week fat adaptation cardio, and then our just regular fat burning cardio. We have 40 or so videos between that are all frequently asked questions stuff, like everything from what we talked about, HRV, when should we add more protein, when should I add more fat, what are the type of like troubleshooting stuff, and most importantly, more than anything, is the exercise demonstrations, because that's where Ben comes in, and just, he's the best in the world. Like, teaching execution, this is good for anybody, whether you're on a paleo, keto, high carb diet. If you learn how to execute an exercise correctly, you're going to get so much more out of your training.
That's amazing. We'll add the link to the show notes so people know where to find everything. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I can't wait to see you guys. I'm sure I'll see you guys this summer.
I can't wait to you're our neighbor.
I know. Woo. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a good day. Bye.